So, remember you were talking about those prank phone calls?
Oh, crank phone calls. Now, obviously, this takes me back because we haven't been able to do crank phone calls for a long time since they put in that horrible technology that lets you hit *69 to get the last number called. But back in the good old days, we could do some crank phone calls. And I remember the first ones were things like, you'd phone the grocery store and you'd say, "Do you have Dr. Ballard's in a can as a dog food?" They say, "Yes, we do." And you let him out. And you laugh, and you giggle, and you hang up. The funny thing was, we used to, when you first do crank phone calls, you're at your buddy's place, and the only number you know is your own number. So you like phone home and do a crank phone call, and my mom and dad were quite reasonable about not beating me when I got home, and they found this, finding my own independence and things. But as we mature and our sense of humor develops, well, crank phone calls get a little more insane. There's two, and I'm going to talk about one now, but the one specific crank phone call that I made up with a good buddy of mine, we'd be in the same house, and we'd basically be sitting on two phones in the same house, and we'd phone somebody else's number. But then what we'd do is we'd just talk to each other, and we'd be having our conversation, and then you'd hear this, "Hello, hello, hello," because you'd always do that at 3 a.m, right? Because that's when the funny stuff happens. Anyway, so
Of course. Early in the morning.
Early in the morning, well, or late in the evening, depending how you look at it. Early risers, late to bed, who knows? Anyway, we would
late to bed.
Late to bed, exactly. So we'd be sitting there, and we'd be two guys in the same house, phones, and of course, this is the old days where you didn't have mobile phones that you could go around the house. So you had the two wires stretched so you could see each other down the hallway. And then one guy make a phone call, the other guy pick up the phone, and you just start a conversation. You'd be talking back and forth. And my buddy, and his name's Rob, and I'm not going to use the name Rob because that'd be bad. But anyway, Rob and I were talking, and all of a sudden in the distance you hear this, "Hello, hello," but we just keep talking, the hello gets louder, louder. And all of a sudden I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute, Rob, just a sec. Hello?" And the guy's like, "Hello." And he's like, "What's going on? What are you doing here?" My buddy and I are having a conversation. And this guy, he goes, and I'm sorry if it was you. I really am. But this one guy, he's like, "Oh man, the technology must have messed up. It's a hot, humid night. Some wires must get crossed." He's going through this whole scenario about how this magically happened. We're looking at each other. We are howling with laughter, but of course can't do that because it wouldn't be right. You're in the middle of a prank phone call. Crank phone call, my friend. Crank.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
It's the good old days.
Ah, yes.
But
can't do that anymore.
You can't do it today, but back then, we had some good, fun late evenings.
Very late evenings.
Or early mornings. Depends on the way you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
Nobody else might, but who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see you again.
See you next time.